Hello, and welcome back to Future Tunes, where we explore the intersection of retrofuturism and animation by looking at past depictions of the future seen in cartoons. Today's episode is long overdue. We are going to be covering the future according to Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers Animation. As a reminder, we are not treating these depictions as true predictions of what the future might have been, but instead breaking them down aesthetically and seeing how the time they were created in influenced what they thought the future might be. After all, retrofuturism is about the past, not the future. Now, the history of Warner Brothers Animation is pretty well documented here on the channel, so we're going to be jumping right in to 1944's The Old Grey Hair. This was directed by Bob Clampett, who produced many iconic Warner shorts, like Porky and Wacky Land, Book Review, The Great Piggy Bank Robbery. Personally, I love Clampett's work. By blending styles and experimenting with form, he took an already surreal medium and made it, somehow, even weirder. In The Old Grey Hair, Clampett looked ahead to the then-distant year 2000. It follows the established formula of a Bugs Bunny Elmer Fudd short, Elmer attempting to hunt bugs, but eventually being outsmarted. The gimmick here, though, is time travel, both forward and backward. We see past and future. A mysterious force, likely God, shows Elmer how long it will take to successfully hunt bugs, roughly 55 years, and by that time, they will have both aged. When he eventually gets him, with the help of this futuristic gun, Bugs guilts him by showing them as babies. He then switches spots with Elmer, once again slipping the noose and leaving Elmer's fate up in the air. Now, this time travel is confirmed by a newspaper informing them that they are in the year 2000, the Daily Rocket. We learn that Bing Crosby's horse hasn't come in yet. This alludes to crooner and early champion of videotape Bing Crosby. Apparently he was very into horse racing. There is also reference to the Dion quintuplets, who caused quite the media stir back in their day. This group of children were the first case of quintuplets, where all survived their infancy. They had a brief stint in Hollywood, and the novelty of their existence was exploited by the Ontario government. Yes, they were born in my backyard, and were made into quite the lucrative tourist attraction. In this future, they all themselves give birth to quintuplets. I'm a big fan of this trope, where the past predicts their pop culture will still be relevant this far into the future, or how it imagines how current technology will be improved upon. Take, for example, the boldest prediction this short makes, that television, then in its infancy, would be replaced by smell-o-vision. Now, this is something that has been attempted several times. Like 3D, being able to smell what you were watching was something producers believe audiences would want, and that it would make a more immersive experience for viewers. Even before the short was produced, theater owners experimented with spraying perfume or fanning soil and earth or other scents during screenings, which personally sounds pretty nauseating. Different prototypes were made, dating back to the 1939 World's Fair. Everything comes back to the fair. But a commercial system wouldn't be patented until the late 1950s. Only one compatible film was ever released, Scent of Mystery. Scent of Mystery was a disaster between cost and malfunction, scents not reaching the seats or mixing with one another, which again sounds pretty gross. There was also a rival system, Aroma-Rama. Both flopped, obviously, and in 2000, the year this short takes place, smell-o-vision was rated one of the worst ideas of all time, at least according to readers of Time magazine. All of this feature is inferred from the newspaper headlines, so much context contained just in a brief sight gag, which is very impressive. Up next, we have Duck Dodgers in the 24.5th Century from 1953, directed by the great Chuck Jones. Duck Dodgers is a parody of pulp hero Buck Rogers. I could probably get a whole video just out of Rogers. Probably will, actually. Stay tuned. But Rogers was a World War I veteran who was exposed to radioactive gas while exploring an abandoned mine. This caused him to get stuck in suspended animation for 492 years, and he awoke in the 25th century. This is from the time the story was first published, 1928, in an issue of Amazing Stories, a novella, Armageddon 2419, written by Philip Francis Nowlan. It was later adapted into the comic strips you've been seeing, as well as a film serial, and a bunch of different mediums, really. TV film, again, a feature for another day. Back to Duck Dodgers, 2350. This cast Daffy Duck in the Buck Rogers role. he is tasked with exploring the unknown Planet X, looking for Illudium Phostex, an element also known as the shaving cream atom, which I guess Earth is in short supply of. He travels with an assistant, Porky Pig, and is confronted on Planet X by Marvin the Martian, though he was not known by that name here. Marvin's character design first appeared, also unnamed, in 1948's Haredevil Hair, where Bugs ends up on the moon. We get some interesting rocket designs there. He again appeared opposite Bugs in the Hasty Hare, known simply as the commander of the X-2 vessel, and in Hairway to the Stars and Mad as a Mars Hare for 1958 and 63 respectively. He wouldn't be given the name Marvin until 1979's The Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie, The More You Know. 1953, the world was on the cusp of the space age, and as we've seen from other appearances, Marvin was a product of this, combined with the obvious influences of pulp magazines. These inspired Duck Dodgers. It is one of those largely aesthetic futures, not many predictions beyond teleportation, but it does look awesome. Some great mid-century modern design here. In 2003, it was adapted into a TV show, Duck Dodgers. This aired on Cartoon Network. The character also appeared in what was a planned theatrical short, Duck Dodgers in Attack of the Drones, in 2004. This was directed by Rich Moore, and its title is a take off of Star Wars Attack of the Clones, then a recent movie. With nearly half a century of science fiction to draw inspiration from, we see obvious parodies of Star Wars characters, as well as Star Trek. Futurama's Dr. Zoidberg also makes an appearance. The whole short has some pretty serious Futurama vibes. Moore worked on that series as a supervising director, so that makes sense. Interesting developments here include the ability to copy yourself, as though you were walking into Staples and copying documents in a photocopier. Duck Dodgers uses this to create an army of robot lookalikes. This saves the day, but eventually they turn evil and wreak havoc. They mug an ATM, which I think is a pretty great gag. This maintains the spirit of the Golden Age shorts, while still feeling current at the time it was produced. As I mentioned earlier, it was meant to be released theatrically, but that was cancelled after the poor performance of Looney Tunes Back in Action, though I do believe it did air on television. Speaking of television, the following year, Warner Bros. Would produce Lunatics Unleashed. This takes place in 2772, after a meteor strikes the planet of Acmetropolis. This knocks it off its axis, which causes waves of supernatural energies that change the citizens' genetic code, thus giving them superpowers. The main characters are a team of superhero teenagers, kind of like Teen Titans, who are all descendants of Looney Tunes characters. You have Ace Bunny, Lexi Bunny, Danger Duck, Slam Tasmanian, Techie Coyote, and Rev Runner. Their ancestors should all be pretty obvious, except for maybe Lexi, that is Lola Bunny. This is all very of its time. It is heavily inspired by anime, video games as well. Pretty standard futuristic designs, some tech, again, feels like it's out of a video game, but other than that, nothing really all that notable. Honorable mention to 1960s Lighter Than Hair. While not taking place in the future, this did feature a few futuristic robots and other vehicles, and yeah, that's about it for today. This was not meant to be exhaustive, and I am no expert, so feel free to correct or comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have the means, please consider supporting us on Patreon. That's the only place to see Century of Schlock, our exploration of 100 years of cartoon smut, as well as feature film, which is just like this, only for movies. $5 a month gets you access to those and dozens of other videos and series. Patreon.com/PixandPortraits. As always, thank you all so much for your interest in this channel, and thanks for watching. See you in the future.